Are you in debt? For some of us, our debt can feel like such an insurmountable issue that we don't even know where to start. There's a feeling of desperation, and the shame runs so deep that we don't even know who to tell, even our closest loved ones. That's one of the things that we're talking about in today's video. Hi guys, girls, non-binary pals, welcome to Budget with Ira. My name is Ira, and on this channel we talk about budgeting, paying down debt and saving up for the life that you truly deserve. If that sounds like something you'd like to watch, please consider subscribing to the channel because we do have a lot of fun over here, bestie. We really do. In today's video, we're carrying on the series of mine called Budget Bestie. Budget Bestie is a series where people anonymously submit their budgets to me. I take a look at them and see what I might do in their situation. This is not financial advice. However, sometimes I have some good ideas, but the real knowledge comes from the comment section. So if I do something in today's video that you don't quite agree with, or you think there's a better way, please let me know down in the comments down below, because not only is it really useful to me, but it's really useful to the other people that are in similar situations to the Budget Bestie today. So I spoke about it a little bit at the start of this video about how when you're in a lot of debt and you're just trying to cover your basics and you don't really know what you're doing with it, it can become so difficult. So building a debt plan is probably one of the most important things you can do, because not only it can show you the reality of what it is, but it'll also give you a bit of clear focus on how to resolve your issues. Sometimes things can play on your mind so much that you lose sleep over it, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not always the biggest issue in your life, and once you've got a plan, you can correct it and move on. So today's a pretty deep one, but it is an important one, so should we get into it? So I've got my lovely bit of paper in front of me. When I asked them what their main financial goal is, they said to clear debt and save for an emergency. And I'm going to be honest with you, we're not going to be looking at anything other than paying down debt in today's video, just because there is a considerable amount and it needs to be the priority. And then once they've got through that stage of their life, then I would consider starting to build up emergency funds and things like that. But we'll move on. They say their main financial issue is that they are drowning in debt, can't seem to get out of it, and have no savings if anything was to happen. So there's that. They do earn an income by themselves, but they also said that there are 3 of us, me, my husband, and a grown-up daughter. I'm not counting husbands, as we never have had joint accounts in our home. Our home is paid for, so we have no mortgage or rent. My husband pays for most, and all I pay for is council tax, gas, electric, internet, mobile, and food. I suffer from anxiety and rarely go out. I work from home, I have Monzo account, but can't keep any savings in the pots. My mobile phone is £84, which is a lot, but my daughter pays this for me as I don't charge her rent. What would you do in this situation? Any advice would be greatly appreciated. So yeah, they also say that they're trying to save for emergencies to get out of debt. When they seem to make progress, something comes along and throws a spanner in the works. So there's quite a lot to unpack in today's video. So with that said and done, what I believe we need to do is to go in, take a look at their budget, see what's going on, see if we can shave some money away from somewhere so that we can get a nice, strict, stringent debt plan and figure out how to get ourselves out of this, because this is the reality for a lot of people and it can feel really tough. But once you know what you're doing, life becomes so much better. So let's improve this bestie's life and let's get budgeting. Okay, bestie, let's get started. So what we're using today is my Paycheck Bill Tracker pad. This is a pad of 25. It's a fantastic tool for beginner budgeters because if you make a mistake, you can just tear it off and start again. Today we're using this one, so let's get cracking. So starting off, we'll start with income. So first of all, we've got the income of the person whose it is, and their income is £1,400. And then they also get money off their daughter. I'm going to list it because they've still got that as a bill. So I'm going to put their daughter as a source of income, and they get £84 off them each month. So their income altogether is 1,484. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is list all of their bills really quickly, and I'll talk to you about them afterwards. Okay, so these are the bills. So first we've got council tax, which is 140, gas and electric, which is 170. They got life and health insurance separately. Sometimes it's cheaper to get that from the same providers, but that seems pretty reasonable amounts. Then we've got mobile phone, which is a incredible amount of money, but if that's how your daughter likes to pay their way and everybody in the family is happy with that, then absolutely cool. Then you've got internet, which is £31. That seems really reasonable. We've got Monzo Plus here, which is obviously the benefit of that is you can spend directly out of a pot, and obviously we see that as an issue anyway, so it might be something you might consider getting rid of. Then Curve, which from my research could be many things, but predominantly it's an app that allows you to get cash back. I don't think we're really in the position to be buying things of that nature. Then we've got a subscription for some VR, which I don't know who that's for, but yeah, there's that. And then there's postcode lottery, and we are not in a position to be waiting for someone to bail us out with money, so that might be something that will go as well. Anyway, the bills come up to £596.98, which leaves them with £887.02, which seems like a lot of money, but wait till we get to it. So the envelope we've got down here is groceries. There's only one that's been mentioned, so we're just going to groceries. We haven't got fuel or anything like that, so my assumption is that they're not really using it because they work from home and they don't really leave the house much. So there's £60 there, which leaves them with £827.02. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to cross out these two, and we're going to, instead of sinking funds, we're going to call this debt, okay? Because this is a pretty big category. So first of all, we've got Monzo Flex, which is a sort of loan from them. The minimum payment for that is £300 per month. Then we've got another Monzo loan. So Monzo are loan 2, which is £176 per month. Then we've got Capital One, which is a credit card. So Capital One is minimum £65. And then we got Vanquis, which is another credit card with the most obscene interest rates. The minimum on that is 115. And then we got Fashion World, which I think is a catalogue. So Fashion World there, which is 10. So the minimums on debt is 666, surprisingly, which leaves this person with £161.02 to do stuff with. So when we move down and have a look at buffer, we have £161.02. So that's where the budget is, and you can see why they're sort of feeling a bit snowed under. So if you look at their income, it's £1,400. Almost half of their money goes to minimums. They are not clearing debt by paying minimums, because especially with this Vanquis one, I know the interest rate is in the 40s or close to it at least. So we're not getting any further, so like that's going to be the rest of our life unless we do something about it. So there's no mention of any sinking funds or anything like that, and I know that there probably should be, but at the moment we need to tackle this, so we need to get a plan for doing that. So I think it's time to bust out the red pen. So I don't normally do this, but what I am going to do is get rid of a couple of things. So first thing we're going to get rid of is Monzo Plus, because we have no business spending out of pots and things like that, because we're not going to be making any pots for the near future according to this plan. So get rid of that, just have a standard Monzo account, you'll be absolutely fine. There's no need to pay for that because you won't be using the service. We won't be getting any cash back on things for a while, so let's not have that. I don't know who that's for or what that's for. I'd question whether it's necessary, so I'd get rid of that, and I wouldn't do the lottery while we're in this situation. Yeah, so we're saving ourselves about 50 quid a month by just cutting those out, and I don't think those are quality of life things. I don't think they're enriching your life in any meaningful way, so I'm quite happy to get rid of those. So all of that now comes up to £567, which leaves you with 917. If we're happy with groceries being £60 and that's how much you want to contribute, fine, but I would encourage you to have a bit of spending money, because this is going to be a long road road to debt freedom. So I'd encourage you to give yourself something like £10 a month, adjust it to whatever's reasonable for you. But I'd encourage you to have something like that just so you can get yourself a coffee or do what you want to do with it. Save it up, buy yourself some clothes, do whatever you want to do with it. But yeah, I'd encourage you to have something like that because this is going to be a long road. And that comes up to £100 in terms of envelope, which leaves you with £817. Now, we're not going to stray much further away from this debt category, but we are going to add in an overpayment. So overpayment, and we're going to do an overpayment of £134, which rounds this up to £800, which leaves you with £17 as a buffer. Now, this is not going to last forever, but this person, I believe, is in a very unique situation where they are quite heavily supported by their husband. Things that are really important, like mortgage and stuff like that, is all paid off. So they are in a good place with that. So they can really, really dial in on focus on this sorts of stuff. So they're contributing towards the household and paying for the bits that are, their responsibility, but they're also getting down into detail of that. So what I think is the right thing to do is to get going with this debt plan, and we're going to write on the back of this. So what I would be tempted to do is to tackle the cards by which one has the highest interest, and I'd probably go for Vanquish first. But for ease of everything, what I will do is I will do a snowball plan here. So in a debt snowball, what you do is you list your debts from the smallest to the largest. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so what we've done is we've listed all of debts from the smallest that is owed in total to the largest. So we can see that Fashion World, they owe 100, their minimum payment is 10. Capital One, they owe 1,869, minimum is 65, all the way down to the second Monzo loan where they owe nearly 8 grand and their minimum is 176. So it's interesting that they owe that much and that's their minimum, but like from the same, it's interesting, right? So the total they owe is 14,864, which is not a horrendous amount of money. So we can do this together. So what we've agreed is, or what I've decided, the overpayment is £134. So £10 plus their minimum payment of 134 means they have a snowball of 144, which means that total 100 is cleared within the first month, gone. Yeah. So when we add the 165, when we add the 65 to 144, that makes their new snowball £209, which means that this will get cleared in 9 months. So assuming that they're at the same state with that after 10 months because of interest applied and stuff like that, when they add the 209 to their 300, that makes their snowball now £509, which means in 4 months that debt is gone. So you can see how much quicker the debts are going and being cleared because you're tumbling money over and over. So when we add the 509 to the 115, that means your snowball is now £624, which means that your Vanquish debt is cleared in 5 months, which is like a fantastic thing to do. And then when you add that 624 to the 176, you're left with your final snowball, which is £800, which is what you've been paying all along every month. And that means in 10 months, you can clear that Monzo loan, which is incredible. So this, I always start debt. So this is your debt freedom in 29 months, which sounds like a long time, but when you say that's 2 years, 5 months. Now, you may find it quicker if you are able to consolidate that all into one big loan for 14k, 15k. You might find that easier because you might get interest-free periods and things like that. That is definitely something to consider. But if you're unable to do that, or you're too nervous to do that, or whatever the situation, this is the approach that I would take, because that will have you done in basically 2.5 years, which is a very, very quick time to get that done. Now, if you're able to shave anything off of it, for instance, if you spoke to your husband and said that actually, could I not contribute that £60 every month to groceries, and could I throw it out my debt, this is going to exponentially make it quicker for you. So adding an extra £60 every month really cuts that down. You could probably shave off about half a year. I'm not even joking about that. It would make a big difference. So time to pick your big person pants on and have those tough conversations and just make it happen, bestie. So this is the budget, and after we broke it down, it actually wasn't that difficult to do. This person's in a very lucky situation in that they're not going to lose their home anytime soon. A lot of this stuff is paid off and they've got a lot of support from their family, which is really good. I think there's probably a little bit of a scenario of, I don't know if the husband really knows about all of this. I mean, if they do, that's an assumption that I've made and I apologize for it. But I think that by having that conversation, I know it feels very shameful to have that conversation about your finances, your separate finances with your significant other. I know it can be scary and you can feel a lot of shame around it, and that's probably not helping with the feelings of feeling like you're drowning in debt. But if you are honest about, this is my situation and what I would like from you is to not have to pay for that or not have to pay for that or whatever, just so that I can take ownership of this and clear this down, I think you'd be surprised by the level of support that you would get. Now, if you don't get that level of support, you've still got a plan based off of what you've got. You just need to cut out some things that aren't necessary, trim the fat, make sure you're taking care of yourself and really go hard for this, because it can be done, bestie. Hi guys, and on bypass, thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. You know I love it when you get through to the end of the video. Please give this video some love. Make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe, and if you are going to comment, please use this emoji. What would you do in this situation? I know there's a lot of debt, but because it takes up so much of their paycheck, it really does dominate their lives. Now, this person is in a very fortunate situation in the fact that their husband, they have separate accounts, and I think there's probably a larger reason why they do have separate accounts, but because of that, their husband can support like quite a long way. So if this person was able to have an honest conversation with their husband about what's going on, maybe the husband might forego that £60 that they spend on groceries every month, which would definitely put them in a better position paying down debt a bit quicker wise. But you know, it is what it is really. Like, people have their different lives and their routines, so you can't really knock it. What would you do in this situation? Let me know down in the comments down below. Thank you so much to this budget bestie who submitted this budget, and if you would like me to take a look at your budget, have a look at the link in the description. There's a link for a form builder. It's completely anonymous. I can take a look at your budget and I can potentially use it for a video, so get submitted. Extra special thank you to the channel members and the patrons who make everything possible. I truly mean it when I say without you I wouldn't be here. Patrons get exclusive content, sneak peeks and massive discounts on my Etsy store. So if you would like to join them and support me over on Patreon, please take a look at the link in the description. You will not regret it, bestie. That's all we have for today. So until the next budget bestie, I would like you to have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week and have a wonderful budget. Always remember, don't trust Ira. And bestie, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.